Hi. Okay, can you hear me? I wasn't sure if you could see me, so I hit the go live button just to make sure. Um, God's warrior. So apparently, can you hear me? Um, I hope my mic, because I'm here testing my camera and my mic. Um, and I'm gonna check to see if I'm live. Yep, there I am. Oh, shoot, I got my banners up. Hang on. There we go. So I'll just wait to see who pops in. God's Warrior, if you're still there in chat. Apparently Robert Breaker's not going to make it tonight. I just received an email about 15 minutes ago, and he had a bit of an emergency. So I'm going to be here by myself. I did send a link to Lonnie, so I'm hoping that he pops in as well. So got 15 minutes. I know I'm a little early. I just wanted to test the camera, test the lighting, just to make sure that, yeah, looks semi-okay. And that everything is working. So, are you still there? There you go. So, I'm gonna just wait and see who shows up. I'm gonna try the screen share, see how that is gonna work for me. There we go. I hope that pops up. There's a bit of a delay. Awesome. Okay, that seems to be working. So I'll just hop back in over here. I haven't done one of these in a little bit, so it's just I'm getting rusty. I was looking forward to having Robert here because I had quite a lot of notes ready, but I don't know how this is going to go tonight. I still would like to go over the 8 miracles because I do believe that the 8 miracles, if you put them all together, it really paints a picture of the whole nation of Israel throughout history, actually. And the book of John is quite amazing as well. But it might be a struggle doing this on my own, so we'll see how it goes. I'll give it a few more minutes, and I'll see what the census is here. Uh, Maybe we'll just have a chat, and maybe I'll just set this up for another date or reschedule it for another time because it would be a really good discussion with 2 people or 3. So um, it's still a little early. And I don't know if you I'm kind of tired tonight too. If anybody that's going to join me has gone over the 8 miracles, but I can go over them quickly. Um, while I'm waiting, and all these miracles took place in the book of John. And the reason why I started to read the book of John was, well, I had read it before, but I wanted to study it this time. There's difference between reading and study, and I sure am appreciating the difference. I really am, because I don't just read anymore. I do tend to look deeper into scripture, which is really good. I find I'm just getting blown away the more, and rightly dividing as well. I'm just getting kind of blown away as to how simple it can be in reading, and reading it, it's just so um the word is so, it's like it's like the garment of Christ. Actually, it's like a linen, so tightly weaved and so nicely weaved and seamless. I mean, that's just the way the word is to me. Got my crutch here on my notes. What was I going to do? Go over go over the 8 signs. Right. There's a lot here, so I don't know. Depending on how many, like I said, I might I just might postpone this because Robert had an issue. So um well, the first miracle was the water into wine, was the first one, and then the nobleman's son who was sick. And the third one was the impotent pool, and the fourth one was feeding the 5,000. The fifth one was walking on water, and the sixth one was the blind man, and the seventh one was Lazarus. Now I know I said 8. The eight the eighth miracle actually is future, because I'm finding when I'm reading it is the first 7 relate to Israel um, in the past history. So as past history today, and the raising of Lazarus was the 7th, and the 8th is the catching of the 153 fishes. So that's kind of them run down. But yeah, 652. Hmm. Are you still here, God's warrior? Forever? Yes. Hmm. Actually, if I stop the screen share, I can put up the banners that I had created. Um, the first miracle was the marriage in Cana. Second, nobleman's son. Uh, third, infirmity, and in the infirmity in the 38 years, which is kind of something that's actually quite prophetic. And that's what I'm finding as well, as these 8 signs. Not only are these signs for Israel in their time, um, but they can become quite prophetic. Um, what was I? Number 3. And number 4 was the 5 loaves and 2 small fishes, and the feeding of the 5,000. Um, numbers can, um, I know sometimes when I used to read, and numbers never really made any meaning to me, or made any sense. They were just numbers. But now when I see a number, it really has quite a deeper meaning to it, as far as the 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Um, number number 5, Christ walks on the water, so he's manifesting his power at this point. Um, and the blind man from birth. The reason why I find that prophetic is because Israel has kind of been blind since birth. So, and that's where the other miracles come in. The nobleman's son who was sick, and the blind man. So it's kind of like a progressive thing for Israel. First, they're kind of sick spiritually, and then they become blinded. And actually, where did I leave off? The blind man. Did I leave off at the blind man? Yeah, blind from birth. And then there's Lazarus, which he ended up being dead. And I'm thinking that Israel is kind of dead to truth right at the moment. And Christ raised him up. So I don't want to get too into depth with them right now, but because I really would like to have Robert here or someone else here with me, because there's no sense me saying something and then not having someone correct me or um, converse or discuss it with me, because they might have different ideas. Yeah, and that's the first 7, and the first 7 relate to Christ's ministry, to Israel's past, and to where Christ um, was crucified. And then when he rose, he came back for 40 days. And I do have not a theory, but I think I do have a meaning of what I think the 153 fishes are, um, or mean, and the number as well. But which I think is the deity of grace of God through Christ by the completeness and fulfillment. And I could get into more depth, but I actually, you know what? My heart is telling me that I should wait. So I think I am going to. So there's a little bit of a nugget, I guess, of what I would like to chat about. And I think I'm going to put my name back up here. Yeah, and there's only 2 here now, so I'll give it a few more minutes. I don't know what else to say. It's hard to just sit here and chat to myself when nobody's chatting. So, but I will. I'll give it a couple of minutes. So, what should I do? I could leave and come back. That's what I could do. But then that'll just give you a blank screen. So, well, there's 3 people here now. I've been live for almost 11 minutes now. So, and I did come on early because I saw somebody here in chat. So obviously YouTube sent out a notification that I was doing something. So, and actually I was doing it for about an hour. So I hope you weren't waiting that long. I didn't realize. I didn't think YouTube would send out a notification until I actually hit the live button. So I guess that's another learning curve. And as I see that the numbers are coming up, so I see 4 people here now. Um, I'm just going to say that I just had an email sent to me from Robert Breaker, and he's had a bit of an emergency, and he cannot make it this evening. So, and I'm really contemplating on actually just staying on for maybe 10-15 minutes and rescheduling this because I think it's a great study, and John is an excellent book. And I also believe that it's not really written for us. I mean, we can get a lot of insight out of it, and there's a lot of good scripture because all scripture is good for our learning. Um, but for a brand new believer and a brand new Christian, I don't think John is the first book that people should be reading because I do believe um, now that I study it, it's meant for Israel. Yeah, and it's actually quite prophetic in some ways, especially with the like I said, especially with the 8 signs, and it also gets into the I ams as well. And that's another thing that I sort of want to dig a little deeper on are the I ams, because apparently there are 7 Old Testament I ams as well as well, I don't want to say New Testament, as well as um, the I ams when Christ was manifest in the flesh, and um, I'd kind of like to study those a little bit more because I think there's something a little deeper into that too. I think it might be prophetic. I don't know. I haven't studied it yet, but it's brought me to that just by reading John. Yeah, and I see that there's still, somebody left. So hi, Mark Lester. How are you? I'm not sure if you been here for a bit, but Robert's not able to make it. So, and I probably will only stay on for a little while because I really would like to do this study with him or or with someone else. So I've been preparing for about 4 days. So I don't want to uh I don't how do I say this? If I do it on my own, I don't think it'll be that good. I don't know. I think just it'll be better with a couple people discussing my points and Robert's viewpoints. Otherwise, there won't be much of a discussion. Um, so, if there's anything you want to talk about, Mark, or or does anybody want to talk about anything in John, um, in the Book of John? We can talk about who he was. Um, I lost my pages here. Actually, John was quite an interesting character. The the meaning of his word means gracious. So um, I just found that interesting. And not only does it mean gracious, but in the Bible, he's always referred to, or he was referred to as one of the pillars um, of the early church, or he was called a pillar, especially with the 3 of them, the pillar, James and Peter. They were all called pillars. Because not pillars can be uh, kind of like a foundation or a strength. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's a pillar. Because sometimes when you read scripture, it can be more like a metaphor or a simile. He was the son of a fisherman, so and that's when he was chosen when Christ was on the Sea of Galilee and he's choosing his 12 apostles. So he was one of them. And he had faith. And his best friend apparently was Peter. I didn't know that. But but he was always, John, the Apostle John, was always close to Christ. Um, he was with him throughout his ministry and the events that happened throughout his ministry. Um, for example, um, he was there at the not the yeah, the Last Supper. He was the one that was against Christ. He was always close, and he was also considered the apostle. But he never called himself John. He always seemed to call himself the apostle, the one that Christ loved. But I kind of have a theory about that one. So I think that he was just being submissive, and I think John was more of a mature apostle later on in the years, and I just think he would quote it like that, or write it down like that, or say it like that because he was always putting Christ first above himself. So, and that's how I feel about that. Um, the events, yes. Oh, I had them written down somewhere. There was a few of them. He was at the cross. He was the first one to go into the tomb. I know Mary was there, but I don't think she actually went in the tomb. He was the first one to outrun everybody and go in there, and he was the first apostle that recognized Christ when he came back. Um, and he was also James's brother. James, the James that wrote the book of James, and apparently they had Christ nicknamed them sons of thunder, and that is actually I find quite prophetic. So, have I been up in the air lately? No, not lately. The weather's been really bad up here. So, it's been like snowy one day, raining, and then windy. I guess the wind's going to pick up. So, yeah, from Colorado. You're from Colorado, right, Mark? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I don't know what to say. It's 7:07. Um, and I apologize for tonight's live stream. So, yeah, I think, like I said, I think I'm going to hold off on it because it's a great topic, and John is a good book, and I think it deserves a lot more respect than I think I can just give it to on my own. So, uh, anybody want to ask a question? I like questions, and I have um my screen, my share screen up. So if anybody wants to go over a verse or anything, it's up. I can go. I was all set to go with John. Nothing. I'm not sure if God's warrior is still here or not. I don't know where to go from here. To be honest, I really don't know where to go from here. Um, like I said, I think I'm gonna cut it short. I might go another until 7:15, and that's about it. Sorry. Sometimes things happen, especially when you go live. Uh, this has kind of been a good practice for me, though. It's been a while since I've gone live, and I must say that this StreamYard is much easier, a lot easier to work. I'm actually enjoying it. So yeah, it does, Mark. I mean, what the weather could be, you really have to be on top of the weather. Um, like when it's a nice day, I mean, it's fine around here if you're just doing a little, um, radius around the city, or if you're just going to a small city around here. Um, Even the island sometimes. I've been to the island a couple times, and once you get there, though, there's nothing to do unless you take a cab into Toronto or walk. Like, there's nothing to do on the island there. I think it's called Billy Bishop, if I'm not mistaken. And is it Porter? Porter flies out of there. So I reflect upon the word. Um, Sorry, but Robert's not here. So he's had a bit of an emergency, and he cannot make it tonight. So yeah, I'm glad you could make it though. I'm only going to stay on for a few minutes and then reschedule it, I think. And I will probably make a video, or I will comment on this video and apologize about it. But I didn't want to disappoint people, so I decided I could have done that prior to, but I decided that I should just come on, and because I was all set. I was all set anyway. Oh, he's fine. Apparently, he needs a plumber. So, so Brett, if you have any time, you might want to head down to Florida and give Robert a hand. Uh, I've been fine. I've been chatting with you on King's Table's channel. So that's think that's where I see you're familiar. And you did comment. You did comment on my comment that I made about Christmas. Here we go. Yeah, but which I have no issues. Maybe that's what we can talk about. I have no issues with people celebrating Christmas, but for someone to say that that's when Christ was born, it's not. It's not. It just isn't. And I've been looking a little bit more into it, and yeah, 'cause some people say September, and then some people say March, April. I tend to be more on the March, April um, part of it, just because of the way you study. Like even if you read Luke, um, you know what? Let's go there. Click navs. This is Luke, and I think it's in Luke chapter 2. Yes, and it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Now, even in just that verse alone, I don't think people have been taxed in the fall. It's usually a spring event. I tried to research it, but I can't go that far. The Bible is saying that it was in the time of Caesar Augustus, but it doesn't say what month, and I cannot find what month that it was. But if we keep reading, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. Now, if you if you study this, Luke 2:3, everyone to be taxed, everyone to his own city. I'm not sure how many people realize, but there are two Bethlehems. There are two. So in order for them, and it was also part of a census as well. So we'll keep reading. And Joseph went up to Galilee out of the city of Nazareth to unto into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and of the lineage of David. So they had to go where they were born. And if you want to study this further, I mean, there are two Bethlehems. And I don't think it's the Bethlehem that everybody thinks it is. It was the Bethlehem of the city of David. And they were to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. So if she's great with child, that means that, I mean, even in this day and age, I mean, sometimes we say, though, she's with child. I mean, nowadays we use pregnant, yes, but not too long ago they used to say, oh, she's with child. And to be great with child, to me, would mean she's ready to pop, right? Uh, oh, hi. I should go back into chat. Sorry, everybody. There. Okay. I just wanted to take a peek on chat. Sorry, I forget where I was now. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she would uh, be delivered. So she was ready to give birth, pretty much, is how I'm taking that. And she brought forth her first born son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were there in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. Oh, I don't know where to go on this one, but I know that there was a feast day, and I think it was obviously Passover. I think it was a Passover. See, I'm not too sure. But in order to keep your shepherds abiding in the field and keeping watch over their flock at night, now that's not, I don't think that they do that all the time, but to keep watch of their flock would mean that that they're waiting for the new lambs to be born because it's springtime, so they could have been born at any time. And to watch your sheep, you want to make sure that, I know it's probably just speculation, but anyway, I'll keep reading. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone around about them, and they were so afraid. But if we keep reading, um, in Luke 2, it says that when it was a baby. hmm, Oh, I had the scripture and I forget where it was. 2:11. Right here it is, 2:12. You should find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And I think it was. See, that's lying in a manger, a baby in a manger, and a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes. That's when he was first born. And a lot of people today consider that like the Magi. But I think, where is it, in Mark or Matthew? Matthew 2. I can't remember. Um, Matthew 2 2. King. Oh, yeah. Who is king? Yes, Matthew 2 2. And then I think you get on to here, and it'll tell you that, yes, 2:11. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And they opened their treasures, and they presented unto him gifts, gold, of frankincense, and myrrh. So in one verse he was a baby, in another verse he's a child, and then people tend to think that, oh, there's controversy in the scriptures, controversy, and there's no controversy in the scripture. That's the way it happened. One was a baby in a manger, and the other one was a child in the house. So I'm just saying you might want to kind of study that on your own. And it never says three wise men. It never says three. And you know what? If I take you to Isaiah, is it Isaiah? First Kings, where's Isaiah? 60. This um, scripture is all pertaining to the coming of Christ. So yeah, here it is. The multitude of the camels shall cover thee. Uh, okay, we're going to skip that. And they shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of the Lord. So it says the multitude here. Where does it say? It's the multitude. I don't know. That's the only place in Scripture I can find the entourage coming to see the newborn King. But anyway, I just thought I'd say, you know what, and that would be another really good live stream. So to do, I think it really would, especially this time of year when people are all into it, and I can't be bothered. I just find it deceiving, deceptive, and it's a tradition of man. So it's just not in my heart, and I'm not going to be a faker. So. Okay, so there was on King's Table, yeah. I commented, but it's gone now and I never deleted it. Oh, okay. I wondered what happened. Yeah. I said when sheep were in the field during lamb season and Christ was absolutely. You ask anyone who raises sheep, they're all born in the spring. So I don't know, somebody has to come up with a lot of um, scripture for me not to believe that it wasn't the spring. Oh, thank you. Reflect upon the word 777. Triple sevens. I get it. I'm really into numbers. Like, and I read the numbers now too, and really make yeah. You've just commented again over there. He's 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 humble too. Is that what you meant to say? He's humble too. He's another fellow Canadian. He's up there in Manitoba. Yeah, two Babylons. Are you saying something, Mark, about Babylons? Two Babylons. Christmas and Easter was invented by the Catholic Church. Um, yeah, I believe that. I can believe that. I think I recall doing a live stream with Robert on that one. And when I did some research, that's what they did. They turned the pagan holidays into Catholic ones. You know, but I'm not. You know what? That's people's free will to do whatever they wish. So I just find it hard this time of year because about December 1st I start to hibernate and don't come out till the end of January when all the hubbub is over. I just don't get it. Well, I do get it, but my heart does not get it. So, two Babylons. No, I think there's only one. I think I think the new Babylon is the New World Order, a book by Alexander Hyssop. Hmm. I'll have to look that up. Bramley. Yeah, Bramley. That's close to me, I think. Bramley. Uh, look up. How did you spell that? Bramley. Oh, South Africa. What? I was going to share you a map, but it popped up South Africa, and I don't think that it's in South Africa. You said Canada. I live in Canada too. Yes, I'm in Ontario. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find it. I just need the proper spelling. Bramley. Where's that near? Oh, we'll find out. Pull up the map. Oh. Oh, wow, that is close. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to share this with you. Screen share. And I can test out my newfound knowledge. There you go. Is it up? That's north of Toronto, right here. Bramley. Is that right? Near Lake Simcoe. Echo Lakes. This is where I go when I go camping. I'm way up here. Coming right up here. Right there. Madawaska, Barry's Bay. Close to Ottawa. Actually, I don't think it's that far of a drive to Ottawa. So it's actually kind of nice. That's fun. It's good to know. It's funny how you start to come across people that live a lot closer. Yeah, it gets, well, you know what? From where I am, I'll bring up the map again. Also, I'm going to share, I'll show you something. There's the place right here. It's called Pelia. Oopsie. That's called the lake. Pelia Island. Which I've been there. I've actually swum there too. It's quite a cute little area. There has been an incident there where a pilot had get-home-itis and he iced up and but what a point I was getting to is this Pelee Island is, I think it's on the same, oh gosh, what do they call it now? I forget. Latitudes. It's on the same latitude as Northern California. So quite down in here, which I find quite interesting. And it took me a while to do that, but I just found that was interesting. And the lakes don't really freeze over here. they're too warm, and there's nuclear plants that that heat the water, so you can't hear me that well. Oh, I wonder if I turn myself up. It um is that whoa, is that better? I do talk low though. I do have a low voice. People say I have a low tone, and which is sometimes hard to hear. I don't understand why I'm crackling. Ooh, I don't know. It could be my voice. I get kind of hoarse at night. I think it's because it's really dry in here. Yep, maybe I'll take a drink. But I don't think I'm going to stay on too much longer. We're just going to have to do this another night. So, and I know Robert's been quite busy. So, and he was sick too. He got quite ill, and I'm not hearing. Excuse me, from Lonnie. So, it's been 7:30. So, I mean, it's been almost 40 minutes or more, maybe 50. So, and he's probably busy. Well, shoveling, maybe getting his home prepared for the next storm. The sound was crackling a little. That's better? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it could be my that's my camera, my audio. It depends. It says that I'm on my microphone and it's showing 2, 3 bars that I am speaking. So yeah, sometimes I have to be careful of that because sometimes I put this headset on and if I'm not set up right, it's either the Logitech camera microphone picking me up, or it could be my computer picking me up, and that it just sounds terrible on YouTube. I find because you sound like you're in a tin can. Eh, and I'm not. I'm in an igloo. Not yet. It's not cold enough yet. Oh, thank you. Reflect upon the word 777. I'll have to go back and look at your comment. Um, yeah, I won't show it. I won't show it on live stream. Although I could, I think I know how to do that now. But it's been almost 40 minutes and I wasn't even gonna stay. Actually, it's been 44 minutes and I wasn't gonna stay that long. So, but I think I'm gonna shut down here, shut the engines down and regroup for another time because yeah, I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope sometimes it happens. But at least I know now I have a couple of topics for live stream. But I would really like to have somebody to discuss that with, and that's the 8 miracles, and the 7 I ams are another thing in the book of John, and actually the birth date of Christ. So I think maybe that could be another one too, prior to Christmas. We'll see. We'll see what Robert's doing, and I don't know who else I can get on here other than maybe Max if he wants to come on and discuss that. But I think he's kind of laying low for a bit. So it seems to be he's not that active on YouTube. Neither am I anymore either. So, and I don't want you people to think that something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. we're just we're just we're just sitting back. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Just taking a break sometimes from YouTube and stuff. But I miss this fellowship, and I want to apologize again for having a topic and not being able to follow through on it. So um, thank you for joining, and good night. I think I'm gonna end broadcast. This time I'm gonna end properly, not have a big long black screen. Anyway, okay. Good night. Yeah, a month ago. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's funny how you get hooked on YouTube and then you get into it. And I think it's not that it's winding down. It's just that I think you run out of things to chat about or say. I mean, how many times can you say the same thing over and over again? Um, I enjoy making videos, and I'll probably make a couple more, you know, before the spring. I have a couple of ideas, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm gonna shut down and broadcast. And thanks again, people. And once again, I apologize. And pray for Robert. Good night.